What's happening, team? Today is a big day in my photography world because I've acquired a brand new camera, my very own Hasselblad X2D with the lightweight portrait kit. Proper excited. And I have 2 portrait shoots with it. First stop is a London photography studio with a very talented dancer and model. You'll want to stick around for this. So hey guys, this is Bella Ballerina. What would you describe yourself as?
Part-time model and part-time ballerina that does a bit of cabaret.
Okay, and I read a little bit of burlesque as well.
Yeah, I do my own ballet burlesque acts.
A little bit edgy. So today we're going to be doing some edgy portraits using these strip boxes, grids, and of course the Hasselblad X2D with the portrait kit. Should we begin? Let's do some dance. Bit. Okay, Bella, ready? 1,
3, 2, 1. 2, 1.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
That felt better.
Now, have a look. I think I like it.
Yeah, that's cool. I like it too.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful as well. The movement of the material, just look at it at the back there.
Yeah.
Now the lightweight portrait kit consists of the X2D medium format camera, which of course is 100 megapixels, the big selling points. Then we have the 80mm 1.9 lens, beautiful fall off, amazing for shallow depth of field images. Then we have the 45p millimeter, that's an f4 lens, superb for studio photo shoots just like these. Really nice and lightweight, almost feels like a nifty 50. Now with studio flash photography, we're normally going to be shooting in the region of f5.6 to f8 because we want to reduce the ambient light from the room from hitting the camera's sensor. We want the strobes to be doing all of the work. Flash sync speed on these lenses are 0.002 of a second, which means that we can take full advantage of those low f-stops of f1.9 and get beautiful shallow depth of field images without overexposing the image. My Sony a7 IV can't do that. You either need an ND filter or high-speed sync flash, which basically reduces the power of the flash, which is no good because I'm already maxed out at 600 watts anyway. Should we try one where you're leaning on top of your knee? Yeah, and then leaning forwards. Yeah. Okay. All right, the camera's right on the floor now. Let me just go up a bit. There. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. The 80mm at 1.9 creates that unique depth of field with world-class sharpness and detail. One, 2, 3. 2, 3. If we go for that pose again, but maybe have the head just at 3/4 here. Because the light's coming through a grid, if your face is that way, it's very sort of stark white. But when you go on the angle, we get fall off on the cheek and it just looks really beautiful. Okay, Bella, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Another epic capture of Bella. The gridded beauty dish really adds to the mood and the subtle fall off of light. Snoot time.
Bella, Snoot time.
Such a funny name. Hollywood, gorgeous. Can you give me more shoulder to chin? There. Wow. That's beautiful. One of my favourite shots of the morning. The X2D recently had a new firmware update which basically tackles some of the autofocus issues which I had in a previous video about doing street photography at night. It handles low light autofocus much better than it used to. 1, 2, lovely. Ready, 1, 2, 3, 3. Is that about right? Yeah. Once more. Yeah. That's the shot. This was taken with a parabolic umbrella. One simple light is sometimes all you need. Now, you've probably seen me using this technique before with what's called a hard box, taking a standard reflector and lining it with black fabric, which reduces the size of the light source. It mimics the sun and creates those long, crisp, sharp shadows. You do need to position them a good 10 to 12 feet from the subject and go for the same angle as a late afternoon sun in the sky. What we're doing is the shadow's going to be all the way up here, but it's going to be that really crisp shadow. So whatever you do, it's going to create the shapes. This is why the legs or the arms or something a bit like aggressive can work really well. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now try the other way. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's have a look. Wow. So that's the first shoot in the bag. Pretty pleased with how well that went and how the camera handled a studio lighting scenario. Next up is an environmental portrait mixing ambient light with flash.
This is my moment.
Now, because I'm on a tripod and have locked in the composition, I'm able to bring down the shutter to 1/25 of a second. This is predominantly an ambient light shot with a touch of fill light, so I'm shooting at f4 and ISO 400. If the subject was moving, I'd obviously want the shutter higher to reduce motion blur, but we can get the model to remain still during the frames and take advantage of that lower ISO and that better quality. Now, I've gained focus on the face using spot autofocus and then changed it to manual focus so we don't have to refocus every time between frames. f4 on the 45mm has a deeper focal plane than, say, the 80mm, so I'm not worried about losing focus in this mode. So power output on the fill light flash is 1/32 power, which just levels out the exposure on the left side of the face and body without it looking like it was taken with a flash. I guess that's the goal with environmental portraits. Maybe a bit of smile. Nice. With an equivalent full-frame focal length of 36mm, the 45p lens is perfect for environmental portraits, and the sharpness at f4 is quite something. So we're going to swap now to the 80mm to take advantage of that lower f-stop of f1.9, which on a medium format camera appears a shallower depth of field in comparison to your full-frame equivalent. Okay, here we go. 1/64 power on the light and mixing it with ambient light from the window. Beautiful. Now I'm framing the subject through the arm of the chair to create that lovely depth of field. f1.9 on this lens creates some really nice separation and compression. I'm still shooting at ISO 400, but because we have the faster aperture now, I'm able to increase the shutter to 60th of a second. That flash, yeah. Nice. Yeah, maybe try looking down at the floor for me. Yeah, that's good. Hold that. Yeah, maybe a little bit more head to me. Yeah, let's see those teeth. Gorgeous. Just chin down a little bit. There we go. Spot on. Here's the 80mm version with the blurred out foreground, and the 100 megapixel sensor gives us that awesome resolution. Beautiful.
That was my moment.
Right. Now, the idea behind this next image is a kind of Hollywood silver screen movie star from back in the day with a touch of film noir. Going for a wider composition again with the 45mm lens to include more of the surroundings and maybe a black and white conversion in mind because of the costume that she's going to wear and the split lighting effect that we've got going on in the back. So the angle of these lights is pretty much 180 degrees through the model here and horizontal to the camera. Again, I'm mixing ambient light from the shutters in the background, but instead of fill light, this time we're going with a much stronger split light effect using a gridded strip box as the key light and a gridded beauty dish at the back as a kicker light for the back of her head and shoulders. So going with a higher f-stop this time of f7.1 because we want everything in focus from front to back, focusing on the model, but we want the floorboards, the table lamp and the shutters all in focus. Okay, here we go. Nice, seductive. Yeah. And maybe just start hitching that skirt up a little bit. There. Lovely. Yeah, just meet the chin with your shoulders. Yeah. Shoulder, lovely stuff. There, think Hollywood red carpet. Look at that, that's amazing. What a shot. So window light. Some of the most flattering and beautifully soft light you're ever likely to work with as a photographer because it's big, it's diffused, and the catch lights in the eyes can be really interesting. So heading over to the 80mm now, shooting at f1.9, which on a full frame camera would probably be equivalent to say an f1.4, maybe even as low as f1.2. So we create some really nice depth of field and separation in these next portraits. Right, where's the model? What about if we were to bring your hair all the way to the other side? So we see your nice neckline, there we go. That's lovely. That's the money shot right there. That's lovely, hold that. So I'm committing the cardinal sin here of blowing out my highlights, but importantly not on the model, only on the light that's coming from the window. Getting your subject exposed correctly is the most important thing when you have a high dynamic range image from blacks to whites. I'm really not that fussed about losing detail in the window. Oh, it's hunting a bit. There we go, just locking onto the eye. 1, 2, 3. Looking away from the camera. No, oh, that's lovely, hold that. This is my final edit. Had I exposed the image keeping the background within the confines of the histogram, this image would certainly have been underexposed. If we zoom into 100% on this 100 megapixel image, we can see how lovely those catch lights are in the eye reflections, and the quality of the 80mm is pretty phenomenal. So the Hasselblad X2D now has a live histogram as part of the new firmware update, which it didn't before. That's a very welcome upgrade for gaining perfect exposure. So when it comes to portrait sessions, whether it's full-length shots or headshots, the guys from Sweden with the X2D and the lightweight portrait kit have got you covered. The 45mm, it's such a clean, sharp lens for such a small portable thing. A full frame equivalent is 36mm, so very usable for studio shots and environmental portraits. But the 80mm, oh, I just love this thing. 1.9, the fall off, the depth of field is just gorgeous. It kind of makes you never want to pick up another lens again. Full frame equivalent on this is 63mm. So if you enjoyed some of the photographs from today, I'll pop links in the description below to my website portfolio so you can see some of my other work. I'll also pop links to both models, Ballerina and Ashleigh Gray. If you're into Lightroom, I have a Lightroom preset pack 2023, which you can download on my website. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more photography content, and I'll catch you next time.